Hello, nice to meet you.
Same here, same here.
Well, I'm Sofia. I'm the artistic director of Este, and is your movie is in a section called Far East that I'm in charge because my heart belongs to to Eastern cinema. So, as I mentioned, I met Narendra last year in Busan. So I am very happy to have your movie in our festival because I've been studying Indian cinema very slowly and very respectfully, and our wish is to have more and more Indian films in our festival. So we are happy to have you.
Let me thank you on behalf of entire team of Kathakar Ki Diary for having our film in your esteemed festival. We are all so excited here for this amazing opportunity, and we look forward to. In fact, Latin American cinema is something which personally, in fact, I had said to you that Solanos, Biri, so much of your films have influenced us so much. So thank you so much from the entire team of Kathakar Ki Diary.
Well, that's a good question to start with, if you want. What kind of influence do you have as a filmmaker?
You see, I come from the eastern part of the country, from the
Mhm.
eastern part of India, and the foremost influence in my filmmaking or my understanding of cinema as an instrument of worldview has been Satyajit Ray. Because he's a cinematic lens or cinematic, his cinema influenced us tremendously. It spoke of the social realism and in a way which was pretty subtle, yet made a very strong impact on us. This apart, as part of world cinema, you have the Latin American cinema, you have Iranian cinema, you have a lot of other films which has influenced, as a filmmaker, me as a filmmaker. And of course, I must mention Charlie Chaplin, whose style has been, so influential. I remember as a child when I used to see Chaplin, I used to, we all used to find it hilarious. But when you grew and you understand what he was trying to say, it was tremendous. So it's a mix. It's a mix of everything, I must say.
Good. And how did this idea of Katakar started your film? Because it's very special and it's very plural, right? Has different protagonists and different stories from different realities and ages too. So I was very curious to hear that story.
So, I would say when we started off writing the story, it was not the way it came out. There are multiple things. There were people around us. We wanted to include various facets of what we see in the film. And the characterization started that way. As it grew, uh, it started flowing. All the characters came and started flowing. The idea was basically to express, as you said, the plural ethos of our nature and the society we live in. All the five protagonists, all the five characters, there's one thing common about them is the trajectory of life and resilience. And at the same time, the missing ordinary human from the popular cinema we have here, we were very particular that we wanted that in the film. So that is how the idea of Kathakar Ki Diary progressed. And as the film progressed, as the making progressed, it continued.
And how was the process of making the film? In which part of India was it filmed? What kind of realities are there surrounding the stories?
So you see, the film was not shot. It was shot in parts, primarily for two reasons. We didn't have enough resource, and also we had to travel across the parts of the country. So the film was shot in Mumbai. The film was shot in Pune, which is the western part of the country, and film was also shot in the eastern part of the country, in the tribal heartland of Orissa and Jharkhand. And for each character, we had to plan out our shoot. For instance, when we started with one of the characters, Iban, we went to eastern part of the country because he was portraying the character. He was playing the character of a tribe athlete who is training tribal children. And then in sharp contrast to the land you see there, you have the Mumbai megapolis. So we spanned out our shoot in each part of the country and throughout the year, depending on how logistically we could fit in.
And this story of, because at the beginning, I was wondering if it was a fiction, a documentary, because it's a story of a photographer, right? So we have the excuse, the perfect excuse of someone that is watching all the time and is searching for stories and searching for some scenes, and at the same time can appreciate the nature and the sky and the trees and the child, right? The children, all the beauty surrounding the ordinary life. So were you inspired in some people you have around you? And at the same time, you mentioned resilience. And I was wondering if that that is something that you particularly value in life.
You see, each of the character portrays facets of human personality. Of course, there's an influence of people who are around you. But for instance, you spoke of the child. Now, the child and the mother, metaphorically, they are related to each other, and metaphorically they represent a bond which is pure, which is very whose sanctity is very, which is a clean, which is very clean. Yet we have the single mother. There's a single mother who is walking, who has a child. The child is growing. The child learns that her mother has to go to work, and that's part of the reality. Similarly, the cancer patient sees photography as an inspiration, knowing very well that he may not live. So that's the resilience. That's the arc of resilience. You see the tribal. You see the musician stuck in a mental mirage, and finally comes out with his composition. And then you see the third gender, the person from the third gender, who is finding it difficult to adhere to the conformist society. So all have their struggle, all have their own what do you call their fights of life, their existential realities, and yet they fight them and come out of it. That's the resilience of human life as such. And that's why it's called the story of ordinary lives. It's about all of us. When someone asked me, it is about whom? I said it's about all of us. And the design of the film has been such that we share proximity to real life to make it as close as possible. That's why there is a feeling of a bit of, the documentary feeling you're saying. The idea is to make it as organic so that everyone associates with it.
Yeah, and the character of these beautiful children that it's there, the child is so difficult to direct a child, right? And that child is so spontaneous and so beautiful. How did you manage? Because that's one of the things that interested me about your film. It's very ambitious in the variety of characters you've chosen, because it's not the same to film a trans person that is transitioning. It's not the same to film an old man. It's not the same to film as a person that has your age and maybe your social and cultural background that is very similar. And it's very difficult to have almost a baby act as well as that one. How did you manage that?
So we shot this entire film with a C70 camera using a slider. We didn't have enough budget even for let's say trolley or those expensive equipments. That while we're shooting the child, we ensured that we let the camera pan and so we noted down the activities and we let the camera pan and let her do something. It took us 2 days to have a bit of let the child get workable with the camera. And then the child started treating the camera as a friend. We were all, mostly we gave a situation to the mother and said, now you talk. And we started recording it that way. We didn't want them to act. We just wanted that bond to be very strong and to make it palpable in the camera. And this is one reason why I used a lot of low light, because a lot of lights that we used in the film was natural light. Because honestly speaking, if you flush a lot of camera or you flash a lot of lights and all with the child might get the innocence might be lost. So that was the design of the shoot. Now, when we are shooting, for instance, with the other characters, the things, for instance, when I was shooting with the character played by the third gender, so for a month, what I asked her is that she had only to, she could not speak. So she has to oscillate between two emotions. One, cry, and the other is laughter. Laughter has to be very pure, very sincere, and the cry has to be equally touching. So I asked her that for a month, what you need to do, you have to shave yourself and wear a sari. Sari is an Indian dress, and you have to stand before the mirror for 30 minutes and send me a pic, send me pics. There's nothing else. And for the sister, we just give a situation, because you must, the film is quite multilingual. It's not Hindi is the primary language, but it is also Marathi, another language. We give a situation, and you said you start speaking. The direction we allowed, the idea was to keep it, as minimalist as possible.
And how or what kind of decisions did you make involving sound? Not only music, that it has very particular music, very classic use of music in the way that it joins the feelings of the characters, but about the sound of the city, the sound of the house where the child lives. What kind of sound design did you have in mind?
So we used a combination of the actual sync we have recorded, and used follies and merged with the follies and other sound required in the studio. There was no exclusive. We ensured that, as you know, in terms of dubbing, in terms of artificial sound additions, we make it minimal, because the problem when all the actors in the film are non-actors. They might have acted in a theater. They might have come from some. In India, we have this we have this road theater called Nukkad, but they were not actors in the sense they have acted in a film. So it was very difficult to dub and keep it as organic as possible. So what we did is that we mixed the sound. We recorded the sync sound and merged with the foley, and kept it as organic as possible.
And Anwesh, this is your first film, right?
Yeah. This is my first film. Feature film, yes, first.
Feature film, yes. And I guess you want to keep making movies.
Yeah.
I hope so. Okay. And what kind of how do you, if you're not working already in your new project, what kind of idea do you have in mind? What would you like to make a movie about?
So currently, I'm working on a few, not just one, a few things. I'm working on we went to we went to the eastern part of the country, and we are working on a thing. We are working on a tribe, a particular tribe, and the issues they face. They have something called witchcraft. I mean, yes. So we are we're doing a lot of research on that. And this besides, see, the idea is whatever cinema we make, it has to portray the subaltern reality, the reality which is not spoken at all. In India, in India, popular cinema doesn't speak of not many amount of things. They speak of the popular, what is popular, what is unpopular, what is easily consumable, but not the stories which are yet to be unraveled for the world. So I will certainly like to work on these areas, and there are some other things also. I'm also working on a documentary, planning a documentary on sound, because I'm basically a student of performing arts. So I perceive cinema from sounds. I mean, I was just talking to someone from the film school. So they say that in the classical film school, you will first, visualize. You will have your character graph. You'll have visualize. The treatment will be in terms of visualizations. No, for me, sound is very important, because that's how I learn. I'm a student of classical music. So sound helps me, to create a progression. So we are working on these things. Let's see how it fructifies.
Anyway, my dear, thank you very much for your time, and thank you for your movie.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for making Kathakar as part of your festival. We're so grateful. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay,
and I'm looking forward to see.
team.
And I'm looking forward to see the films that you send us.
Okay, I will share with you right now.
Thank you so much.
Bye bye.
Bye bye. Good night.